My name is Alba. I am 33 years old and I work in a hospital. I am a nurse. My job is to help sick people and I love it very much. Every day I work long hours. Sometimes I work during the day and sometimes I work at night. My job is not easy. I'm often tired, but I feel happy when I help someone feel better. I like my patients and they like me too. Before last year, my life was very quiet and simple. I lived alone in a small apartment. I did not have a boyfriend, and I spent most of my time at work. After a long day, I felt very tired. Sometimes I just wanted to sleep and not think about anything. I often visited my mother because she lives in a small village. My mother is old, and I like to help her. I visit her on weekends. I help her with food, cleaning, and small work around her house. I like to see her smile, and I like to spend time with her, even if it is just for a few hours. Life felt quiet, simple, and safe. I did not expect anything big or new to happen. One day, something changed at work. A new doctor came to our hospital. His name was Michael. He was 2 years younger than me. He is 31 years old. Michael is very handsome. He is tall with brown hair and blue eyes. He smiles a lot, and his smile is very warm. All the nurses like him because he is friendly and kind. At first, I thought Michael would not notice me. I am not very slim, and I feel like I am just an ordinary woman. I do not wear fancy clothes, and my hair is short and simple. I did not think someone like Michael would be interested in me. But then something surprising happened. Michael started talking to me. He asked me simple questions like, "How are you today?" Or, "Did you sleep well last night?" At first, I thought it was normal because he is polite to everyone. But soon I realized he always smiled at me and wanted to talk with me more than usual. He asked about my life, my family, and even about my favorite foods. I was very surprised. I did not expect someone like him to be interested in me. I felt happy, but also a little nervous. One rainy afternoon after work, Michael asked me, "Do you need a ride home?" I was surprised, but said yes. He opened the door of his car and helped me get in. His car was very nice and clean. On the way home, we talked about work, our families, and our hobbies. I felt very happy. It was easy to talk with him, and I felt like he really listened to me. For the first time in a long time, I felt that someone cared about me and enjoyed my company. After that day, Michael often offered to drive me home. Sometimes he brought coffee or tea to the hospital for me. During our breaks, we would sit together in the cafeteria and talk for a long time. I started to like him more and more. I looked forward to seeing him every day. His kindness made me feel special, and I started to think about him even when I was not at work. I did not expect that someone could make me feel this way. One weekend, Michael asked me if I wanted to go to the movies. We both had a day off. I was very nervous but excited, so I said yes. We went to a small cinema in the city. The movie was funny, and we laughed together. After the movie, we walked in the park near the cinema. We talked for hours about our lives, our dreams, and our favorite memories. I felt so happy walking beside him. I thought maybe Michael liked me as much as I liked him. I could not stop smiling. But a few days later, something happened that surprised me. Michael told me something I did not expect. He said, "Alba, I need to tell you something important." I felt my heart beat fast. I looked at him, waiting for his words. He said, "I am married." I was shocked. I did not know he had a wife. He never talked about his wife, and he did not wear a wedding ring. I could not believe it. My heart felt heavy, and I did not know what to say. Michael explained that he had been married for 5 years. His wife's name is Laura. They do not have children. He said that he was not happy in his marriage. He said that he and his wife did not have much in common. They did not spend a lot of time together, and they had very different interests. Michael said that he liked spending time with me because I made him happy. He said that he could be himself with me, and he felt comfortable when he was with me. He told me that I was easy to talk to and that he enjoyed being around me. I did not know what to do. I liked Michael very much, but I did not want to cause problems. I felt confused and sad. Why would he like me if he already had a wife? His wife was probably very beautiful. I did not understand why he would choose to spend time with me. I thought about it all the time. Every day I wondered if I should continue seeing him or stop. I did not want to hurt anyone, but I also felt happy when I was with him. A few days later, I went to the supermarket in the city to buy some food. As I walked through the aisles, I heard a familiar voice. It was Michael. He was talking and laughing with someone. I looked closer and saw a woman with him. She was very beautiful. She was tall, elegant, and she wore expensive clothes. She smiled a lot and she laughed with Michael. I guessed she was his wife, Laura. They looked very happy together. My heart sank. I felt sad and confused. Why did Michael spend time with me if he looked happy with his wife? I did not want them to see me. I left the supermarket quickly and went home. At home, I sat quietly and thought about my situation. I did not want to be the other woman in Michael's life. I wanted to make the right decision. I knew I had to think carefully before talking to him. That night, I could not sleep. I thought about Michael, about his kindness, and about how happy I felt when I was with him. I also thought about his wife. She looked perfect, and I wondered why he chose to spend time with me. My mind was full of questions, and I felt tired and worried. The next day, I went to work feeling sad and nervous. I did not want to see Michael, but I knew I had to. When I saw him, he smiled at me like nothing had happened. I could not smile back. I felt a mix of happiness and sadness. I needed to know the truth. "Michael, we need to talk," I said quietly. He looked confused and asked, "What is wrong, Alba?" I told him what I had seen at the supermarket. "You looked happy with her." "I don't understand why you spend time with me if you are happy with her." Michael looked sad. He said, "I'm not happy, Alba. With you, I can be myself. You make me feel alive. I enjoy being with you." I did not know what to say. I liked Michael very much, but I did not want to be the reason someone else's marriage might end. I told him that I needed space to think. Over the next few days, I spent time with my best friend, Sarah. I told her everything. She is honest and always helps me think clearly. She said, Alba, you deserve someone who can be with you fully. Don't settle for less. I knew she was right. I needed to think about my own happiness. 1 week later, Michael called me. He wanted to meet and talk. I was nervous, but I knew I had to be honest with him. We met in a park. I told him, Michael, I care about you, but I can't be in this situation. You need to decide what you really want. If you're not happy with Laura, you should talk to her. But I cannot be the other woman. Michael looked sad, but understood. He said, I care about you, Alba. I'll think about everything. I just want you to be happy. I walked home feeling both sad and strong. I knew I had made the right choice, even if it was hard. After that day in the supermarket, I could not stop thinking about Michael. My heart felt heavy and I felt confused. I liked him very much, but I did not want to hurt anyone. I knew I had to make a choice, but it was very hard. Every time I thought about him, I felt happiness and sadness at the same time. I loved spending time with him. His smile, his voice, the way he listened to me, it all made me feel special. But I could not ignore the fact that he had a wife. I decided to give myself some space. I told Michael I needed time to think. He looked sad, but nodded. I felt nervous and anxious as I walked home from work that day. My apartment felt quiet and empty. I sat on my bed and thought about everything. I asked myself many questions. Why did he spend time with me if he was married? Did he really care about me? Could I trust him? I wanted to be with him, but I also wanted to do the right thing. I called my best friend Sarah that evening. She has always been honest with me, and I trust her advice. I told her everything about Michael. I explained how he made me feel happy, how kind he was, and how much I enjoyed talking to him. I also told her about his wife and how I had seen them together at the supermarket. Sarah listened carefully. She said, Alba, you deserve someone who can be with you fully. Don't settle for less. You cannot be happy if he cannot give you his full heart. Her words made me think. She was right. I could not be the secret in someone else's life. I wanted love that was honest and complete. I wanted someone who could be with me openly without any hidden secrets. But my heart was still attached to Michael. I liked him too much, and I could not stop thinking about him. I felt torn between my heart and my mind. Over the next few days, I tried to focus on work. I spent extra hours helping patients and organizing files. I wanted to keep my mind busy, but every time I saw Michael, my heart skipped a beat. He smiled at me like nothing was wrong. Sometimes he brought coffee or tea to the hospital just like before. It was kind, but it also made my decision harder. I felt guilty for liking him, but I could not control my feelings. One morning, Michael called me. He asked if we could meet in the park. I felt nervous, but knew I had to see him. When I arrived, he was already there, standing near the bench where we had talked before. He smiled, but his eyes looked serious. I took a deep breath and sat down beside him. Alba, he said, I know this is hard for you. I want you to know that I care about you, but I need to be honest. I don't want to hurt you or anyone else. I looked at him, my heart pounding. I said, Michael, I care about you too, but I cannot be the other woman. I need someone who can be with me fully. I cannot live in this situation. You need to make a choice if you want to be with me. He looked down, his hands in his pockets. I understand, Alba, he said quietly. I will think about everything. I just want you to be happy. I do not want to hurt you. We sat in silence for a few minutes. The wind moved the leaves in the trees, and I could hear children playing in the distance. I felt a mix of relief and sadness. Relief because I had spoken my heart. Sadness because I had to step back from someone I liked very much. I realized that sometimes the right choice is not the easiest one. I wanted to protect my heart even if it hurt to do so. After that meeting, I took some time for myself. I visited my mother in her small village. I helped her with chores, cooked meals, and cleaned her house. Being with her reminded me of simple happiness. She smiled when she saw me. Alba, you look tired but happy, she said. I nodded and hugged her. I felt calm in her presence. Being with my mother made me remember that life has more than love and romance. Family and self-care are important too. A few days later, Michael called me again. He asked if we could meet and talk. I was nervous but decided to meet him. We walked slowly in the park. He looked at me and said, Alba, I have thought a lot about us. I want to be honest with you. You make me happy, and I feel alive when I am with you. But I have to think carefully about my marriage, too. I listened quietly. My heart was full of emotions, hope, fear, and uncertainty. I did not know what he would decide. I wanted him to choose me, but I also wanted him to do the right thing. I said softly, Michael, I care about you, but I cannot wait forever. You need to make your decision. I need to protect myself. He nodded slowly. I understand, Alba. I need time, but I promise I will be honest with you. You are important to me, and I do not want to hurt you. I felt a little relief, but my heart was still heavy. I knew waiting would be difficult, but it was the right choice. Over the next week, I tried to focus on myself. I went shopping for new clothes for work, cooked new recipes, and spent time with my friends. I laughed and tried to enjoy life. But at night, I often thought about Michael. I wondered if he would choose me. I wondered if I was being selfish for wanting him to be mine. My emotions were like a storm, sometimes calm, sometimes strong. Then one evening, Michael called me. He asked if we could meet at the small cafe near the hospital. I agreed. When I arrived, he was sitting at a table looking nervous. He stood up when he saw me and said, Alba, I have made my decision. I want to be with you, but I need to do it the right way. I cannot continue my marriage like this. I want honesty for all of us. I felt my heart leap. Relief and happiness filled me, but I also felt fear. I said, Michael, I care about you, but we need to be careful. We must be honest and do what is right. I cannot be the secret in anyone's life. He smiled softly. I know, Alba. That is why I wanted to talk to you. I will handle things properly. I want us to have a chance at happiness without hurting anyone else. I felt tears in my eyes. I realized that love is not just about feelings. It is also about choices and honesty. I felt hope, but I also knew the road ahead would be difficult. We talked for a long time about our feelings, our fears, and our hopes. I felt closer to him than ever before, but I also felt a need to be strong for myself. That night, I went home and sat by my window. I looked at the city lights and thought about the week. I felt sadness for the past and hope for the future. I knew that love is complicated and sometimes it requires patience and courage. I also realized that self-respect and honesty are more important than instant happiness. I knew that whatever happened next, I had made the right choice by being honest with Michael and with myself. The next week felt long and quiet. I tried to keep myself busy with work at the hospital and visiting my mother in the village. I still thought about Michael every day, but I also focused on myself. I reminded myself that I had made the right choice by asking for honesty. I wanted love, but I wanted it in the right way without secrets. One afternoon, Michael called me again. My heart raced as I answered. "Alba," he said softly. "Can we meet? I have something important to tell you." I agreed, and we met at the park where we had first talked seriously. He looked nervous but determined. His eyes were kind, and I could see he had thought a lot about his decision. "I have spoken with Laura," he began. "We both agreed to separate. It's not easy, but I cannot live a life without honesty and without someone I truly connect with." I felt a mix of relief and nervousness. I did not know what to say at first. My heart was pounding. Could this really be happening? Could we finally be together without secrets or lies? Michael took my hand gently. "Alba, I want to be with you," he said. "I want us to start fresh, honestly and openly. You make me happy in ways I never imagined. I care about you deeply." I felt tears in my eyes. I had waited for honesty and respect, and now he was giving it to me. I nodded and whispered, "I care about you too, Michael. I want this too, but we must take things slowly." We walked together in the park, talking quietly. We shared our fears, our hopes, and our dreams. I realized that love is not just about feelings. It is also about trust, patience, and respect. Michael listened to me, and I listened to him. It felt different this time, real and safe. I felt my heart open without fear or guilt. After that day, we spent more time together carefully and respectfully. We met after work, went for walks, and had quiet meals. We laughed and talked about small things like our favorite foods, memories from childhood, and funny stories from the hospital. Every moment felt gentle and meaningful. I felt happy in a way I had never felt before. One evening, Michael came to my apartment with flowers. He smiled and said, "Alba, I wanted to give you something to show you how much I care." I smiled, feeling warmth in my chest. It was a simple gesture, but it meant so much. I realized that love does not need grand gestures. It needs thoughtfulness and care. Weeks passed, and Michael and I grew closer. We shared honest conversations and quiet moments. I learned more about him, and he learned more about me. I felt respected, valued, and loved. I also realized how important it was to be honest with oneself and with others. Our love grew slowly, carefully, and with meaning. One weekend, Michael invited me to meet some of his friends. I felt nervous but excited. When I met them, they were kind and welcoming. They treated me with respect and curiosity, and I felt included. I realized that real love is not just about two people. It is also about how others respect and accept your relationship. I also continued to spend time with my mother in her village. She noticed that I was happier and more peaceful. "Alba," she said, "you look different. I can see joy in your eyes." I smiled and hugged her. I realized that family and love from others, like Michael, are both important in life. I did not feel alone anymore. Eventually, Michael and I decided to tell people about our relationship. We wanted to be honest, not only with ourselves, but with everyone around us. I felt nervous at first, but I also felt proud. I had waited for honesty, respect, and care, and now I could share our love without shame or fear. One evening, as we walked home from the hospital together, Michael stopped and held my hands. "Alba," he said softly, "thank you for waiting and trusting me. I promise to always be honest and care for you. I love you." I felt tears fill my eyes, but this time they were happy tears. I held his hands tightly and whispered, "I love you too, Michael. Thank you for choosing honesty and love. Life was not perfect, but it felt right. I realized that waiting for honesty and respect was worth it." Michael and I were building something real, not rushed or hidden. Every day we supported each other, laughed together, and cared for each other. I felt safe, happy, and loved. I knew that real love is patient, honest, and kind. Sometimes I think back to the first days when Michael smiled at me and made me coffee. Those small moments had led to something big and meaningful. I learned that true love requires courage, honesty, and the strength to make the right choices. I also learned that respecting oneself is the first step to finding happiness. As I write this now, I feel grateful. Grateful for my job, my mother, my friends, and most of all for Michael. Life is full of surprises, but the most important thing is to wait for love that is honest and true. I know now that love is not just a feeling, it is a choice. And I am happy we made the right choice together. I want to tell all of you watching this story that love and happiness are worth waiting for. Never settle for less than respect and honesty. Be brave to choose what is right, even if it is hard. Life will bring you the happiness you deserve if you stay true to yourself. Thank you for reading my story. If you enjoyed it, you can watch more heartwarming and emotional English stories on Learn English by Stories. Don't forget to subscribe and join us at Learn English by Stories for more amazing stories that help you learn English in a fun and meaningful way.